Now, what Freud tried to do through his psychoanalysis. So let's understand his achievement in terms of his theory. Sigmund Freud tried to show that poetry, literature, I mean to say, is indigenous to the very constitution of the mind. Indigenous means local. And literally, it means local, means native. What does it mean? Indigenous means origin. It has its origin in the mind. It is a part of the mind. It is not a foreign element. Poetry is not something outside the mind. It is a part, means it comes out of the mind. Our mind constitutes poetry, a creativity process. So in this sense, mind can be seen as a poetry making organ. If you remember Noam Chomsky's theory, cognitive theory, uh, you will understand what we are trying to say here. Noam Chomsky refers to a device. Do you remember that? You studied it in your first semester under syntax or under theory. He talks about a device named LAD, language acquisition device. Noam Chomsky was the American linguist, structuralist, and he believed that every human being is born with LAD. In the same manner, our mind is seen as a poetry making organ. It is a device. And poetry is seen as a method of thought, though unreliable and ineffective for conquering reality. We have already understood that poetry is a kind of illusion, it is a kind of dream, and it cannot be a reality, but still it is harmless. This illusion is unreliable, we cannot rely on it. It is not stable, and it is ineffective for conquering reality. But the mind is one of its parts. The mind in one of its parts could work without logic. One side of a mind, can work without logic. And this unconscious mind works without any logic. We are talking about the id. The id recognizes no because no, therefore no but. It has a pleasure seeking, mindset. It tries to seek pleasure. So this is what Freud tried to show through his discussion of mind in association with poetry. So mind is seen as a poetry making organ. So this is what we understand about Freud. In the next part of the discussion, I shall be talking about. Now, in the previous part, we saw that poetry is a kind of pleasure-seeking principle. It tries to seek pleasure as we dream. Dream is a kind of pleasure-seeking side of mind. Whatever we repress in our mind, whatever we suppress, whatever desires we have, okay, they are realized in dreams. But dreams are unreliable. Unreliable means we can't depend on them. You see some dream and you say, today something is going to happen. It cannot be effective for conquering reality. The gap between dreams and reality remains. This is what Freud tried to show through his psychoanalysis theory. In the next part, the next lecture, we shall talk about the remaining part.